Hello, welcome to the conversation here on News Central Television. This is the program where we bring you all the regular updates on political happenings around the continent of Africa. I am Gbenga Aborowa. Today on the conversation, we will be looking at the escalating security situation in Nigeria, which has caused a stir in the Senate with calls for President Buhari to be impeached. And in Kenya, the running mate of Kenyan presidential candidate William Ruto has lost $1.7 million over corruption allegations. But first, let's start in Nigeria. Rising above partisan politics or personal relationships, over 80 senators across political parties and a majority of House of Representatives members yesterday agreed to impeach President Muhammadu Buhari if the growing insecurity across the nation persisted beyond 6 weeks, being the ultimatum handed the government before the legislature will shut down until September the 20th. The decision was taken after the respective closed sessions before the commencement of plenary, presided over by the Senate President Ahmad Lawan, who also charged the security agencies to do more in order to stop the terrorist, and the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Idris Wase. But the presidency last night reacted to the reported move by the Senate to commence impeachment moves against President Buhari and advised the senators to stop playing to the gallery like their counterparts in the United States. Otherwise, staging a walkout was performative and babyish. At the same time, the federal government has said it was currently working around the clock to bring the country's security situation under control. Now, joining me this evening on the conversation to discuss all of this and more is Samson Adegboyega Newton, a legal practitioner, and we hope to have Mahmood later joining on this conversation. Nice to have you join us, Samson. Good evening to you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Can you kindly unmute your mic, please?
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, so Samson, what does the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria say on this? Can the president be impeached on the grounds of not being able to secure the country?
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, so thank you very much. Yes, so then I apologize for the network issue. So the president actually can be impeached for this state of security because the president is supposed to be the Grand Commander of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It simply means that he is supposed to make sure that the citizens of Nigeria actually live in relative peace. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead. I'm listening.
Yes. So the fact that the president has failed or is looking very clueless as to the steps to take to provide adequate security for the nation. As we speak right now, the whole nation is totally ungovernable. We are very close to a state of nature. We are very close to being a state where a failed state, classified as a failed state, because citizens cannot move from point A to point B without fear of being harassed, attacked, kidnapped by bandits, terrorist groups, organizations. So basically, and one of the key duties of the president is to ensure that the lives and properties of citizens are secured. It's a fundamental duty of the presidency. So when he fails to perform such a fundamental duty, then it can be deemed that he has failed in his duty constitutionally. So yes, it is a ground for impeachment. And the senators that are calling for his impeachment are not wrong. It is within their rights, within their powers, and they're not acting ultra-vires at all.
Now, talking about this call for the president's impeachment, if it doesn't take care of the security situation in 6 weeks, the ultimatum, why is this coming at this time? The killings have been going on for years. Thousands of people have died. Service chiefs were changed. Is it a little too late?
I believe it's more dramatic than actually going to the root of the issue. But it's better late than never. Does not anytime there's an African saying that whenever you wake up is your morning. So if this is their morning where they're waking up to their responsibilities and no longer being a rubber stamp arm of the government, then it's fine. At any time they decide to wake up to make changes, it's very fine. Because, like you rightly said, lives have gone. A whole lot of lives have been lost to insecurity in the country. And it has been as if the president was too lax, too relaxed about things, knowing that the arm that has oversight functions is not performing its duty. So basically, I believe that though it might look like playing to the gallery, but it still might shake the presidency into action.
Now, Samson, do you think this threat of impeachment of Mr. President will improve the security situation? Because you just said, it might just shake the president into action. Some analysts have also said it will be similar to applying band-aid to an open wound, that since it's looking like a stopgap measure, they're very skeptical about its effects. There will be a security improvement in 6 weeks, but what happens if things get worse down the line? Do you think this threat will be able to nip the security situation in the bud? And will this be the end of insecurity in Nigeria?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. We are at the time that we're no longer nipping things in the bud. It's already a full-grown tree. It's already a full tree. So we need to now start doing excavation, going to the roots of the matter. So it's no longer the board. The board was a long time ago. The board was like maybe 2010. That was the board. Now we're at full grown level. And like you said, a 6 weeks ultimatum might not totally eradicate the issue of insecurity in Nigeria. However, it can be a starting point that can be worked upon. Right now, it's as if none of the service chiefs is doing anything. Everybody is like really clueless because every time the news that you get is like our security apparatus has been overwhelmed. It has been taken over completely. The military that has no intelligence, even when the DSS will send out intelligence to security units, they ignore it or they don't do anything. Take for example the prison break at Abuja. There was a memo from the DSS saying that this prison break was imminent, and nothing happened. So it's as if this terrorist organization has infiltrated our security outfit, and everybody is blind, everybody's clueless. So a change of personnel might shake things up, and it might be a sustained development that would help going to the next election that is coming in.
Samson, I'm happy you mentioned the recent Kuje prison break. Now, in the aftermath of the Kuje prison break, Nigeria's Minister of Interior, Rauf Adegboyega, said the Kuje prison is the most fortified in the country. He added that he had enough men to protect the facility, but unfortunately, they couldn't hold their position effectively. There has been zero resignations or dismissals since the jailbreak that led to over 400 violent inmates fleeing. So what do you make of the Interior Minister's comments? Because like you said, we're seeing things that have never happened before. Who would have imagined that Nigeria's most fortified prisons, or one of Nigeria's most fortified prisons, you would have a jailbreak of this nature, and it was almost like a stroll in the park for the terrorists? What do you make of this?
Well, with all due respect to the Honorable Minister, I think what he was saying was supposed to be a joke in a comedy setup, because the way the operations went, they went unmolested, unharassed, so like a stroll in the park, like you said. So if you have a fortified prison and terrorist groups were able to take over and release inmates without any problem, it simply means I'm very close to the seat of power. This is Abuja we're talking about. This is supposed to be I don't know what to say. This is supposed to be like the most secure place in the whole of Nigeria.
A fortress.
Now the aftermath is that Abuja is on lockdown because there's a terror alert, there's an amber alert, and all schools are shut down. All the schools are shut down because they are afraid of terrorist attacks.
So, Samson, sorry to come in here. So we have a situation where people are responsible for doing certain things, and people suffer because they don't do those certain things. And if you don't do it, there should be penalties for it. But nobody has resigned. There's been no resignation. Are they saying that, it's just the fault of this terrorist? Terrorists should be attacking people. And what are some of the implications for security if you have continuous breaches in security and no one is held accountable for this?
It simply means that things will continue the way they are. If nobody is no heads is rolling for such a magnitude of a lapse in security, it simply means that everybody can do what they want to do. And that is why we are where we are. Because for a long time, things have continued this way. There have been breaches, there have been security lapses, and everybody has been doing it and going on as if nothing happened. No changes to personnel, no changes to security outfits. There was, it happened, let's move on. It happened, let's move on. So much so that the terrorists are so emboldened. This is the cause. This is what happens. They become emboldened. They're so emboldened that they're saying they're going to kidnap the president. I don't know if you understand the magnitude of that statement. A state actor, a bandit is telling the whole nation that we would kidnap the president. It means that the nation as it is broken down.
Now, Samson, back to this National Assembly threat or ultimatum to the president to fix insecurity in 6 weeks or they will impeach him. This same National Assembly has announced that it's going on recess till 20th of September. Are they trying to say that, look, this is none of my business, you're the executive arm, deal with it? Because you issue an ultimatum, you say, you will support the security agencies with everything they need. And at the same time, you go on recess when the nation is on fire. What do you make of this?
It is because we keep on electing people who have no bother about the populace into office. Very many of them do not even understand their functions as lawmakers. They don't understand the functions that they hold as a legislative arm of the government. They don't understand the fact that they are supposed to be the checkers of the executive arm. They have very zero knowledge as to what they are supposed to do in critical times like this. They forget that they are representatives of the people, direct representatives of the people. They forget that the only reason why they are in that state is because people deemed it fit to put them there, to be their voices. But because it's a system of the rich takes it all, they don't know what's happening in the bubble. They don't understand what it is. Very many of them will fly from Abuja airport to their various airports, so they do not pass the road. They are not subject to bandit attacks. They are not subject to the very many pains that Nigerians go through. So they have no idea what's going on. So it's very easy for them to take a vacation, to take a break. How many of them are doing anything in the house? They just sit down and take allowances. How many of them have meaningful contributions to the things that are to nation building? No, none of them. Very few of them. So it's not surprising because that is what they normally do. I'm not surprised, actually.
Now, back to this Kuje prison attack, because we keep going back to it, because it's the signal, and like you rightly analyzed, it was after the Kuje prison break that we've started seeing this Amber Alert, and people in the federal capital have been uneasy about the security situation. Now, back to this Kuje prison attack. A visibly angry President Buhari was at the scene of the attack. He visited the prison and questioned the intelligence system in place, the attackers' easy access to the facility, and the ability to live without a trace. That is the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He also tweeted, and I quote, "How can terrorists organize, have weapons, attack a security installation, and get away with it?" End of quote. That's from President Buhari. Now, my question to you, Samson, is this. Is Nigeria under President Buhari out of security options? Because when you When you see your commander-in-chief ask this sort of
So it's
questions
yes.
in public, I mean, it doesn't inspire confidence. Is it time we seek for outside help?
Thank you very much. I do not know if outside help will be of any help at the moment, because no matter how much outside help we want to get, we will also have to. They will also work with the military formation in the country. Right now, there's a question as to the extent of infiltration that these terrorist organizations have in the military. Because if the commander-in-chief of armed forces, our own president, the supposed General Muhammadu Buhari, can come and start tweeting, asking questions that we are supposed to be asking, it simply means that nobody knows anything anymore. There's no chain of command. The chain of command has broken. It means that between him and the service chiefs, either somebody is not feeding him information or there's nothing. So it means that as we are right now, the security operatives in Nigeria has broken down totally. So the president is as confused as we are. In short, the president is even more confused than we are, because for him to be asking such questions, it means that all those their security briefings that they do, they just wanted to drink tea.
And ordinary Nigerians are not even purview to some of those briefings and reports that he gets.
Why are we getting information that that they received like up close to 44 notices of this Kuje prison attack that DSS sent out menus? Why are we getting that information after that happened? Why is there so much breakdown of communication between the president and his service chiefs?
Okay, now, yeah.
So many questions to ask.
Indeed, so many questions. Now, Samson, earlier this year, the federal government of Nigeria gazetted a document titled Terrorism Prevention Prescription Order Notice 2021, which declared bandits as terrorists. How much of the difference has this made in the war against insecurity? And why is that nomenclature? Why is it the framing? Why is it important to the change in name from bandits to terrorists? What difference does it make in the bigger scheme of things?
Thank you very much. So, right, in the international body or international community, when you make a particular organization a terrorist organization, it simply means that you're calling an international organization to aid. There's a collective, there's a unified answer to fighting terrorism all over the world, globally. So once there's a tag on an organization, like for example, when the IPOB was tagged the terrorist organization, you would see that the other nations from around the globe started limiting the way they interacted with them. There was sanctions. I don't know if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So basically, when the bandits were just called bandits, when the word banditry just means like a group of thieves. That's the meaning of bandit. The English dictionary. So there was no force of law against them. It was just something like there's still something that can within your community that you can still fight against. But now that they have made them proscribe them as a terrorist organization, now it's supposed to make clamping on them easier with the aid of international bodies.
And I believe also the rules of engagement and the kind of weapons that will be used in fighting them also differs.
Provisions of those weapons, yes, the provisions of those weapons from international was very honestly, many of the equipments that we use are usually either loaned or very old archaic products that left the shelf life, and we buy them at cheap. So it allows the foreign countries to be able to give us some of the equipment that we ordinarily would not have access to if they are not prescribed as terrorist organizations.
Okay, so Samson.
That's the only difference.
Yeah. So before we begin to wrap things up, Samson, the Senate President, Senator Ahmad Lawan, told security agencies in the country to be alert and do more to stop the heightening spate of insecurity across states, including the Federal Capital Territory, perpetrated by terrorists, charging political leaders to be alive to the responsibility of ensuring the protection of lives of citizens. Samson, do these pronouncements make any real difference on the ground? We always see these things in Nigeria. You know, the president is shocked to hear about this. The president is charged the Inspector General of Police to get on top of this and all of that. Is it just mere playing to the gallery? Do they really have any effects? Are the security agencies going to sit down and say, you know, Mr. Ahmad Lawan just told us to go after terrorists. We have to do our job.
You know, in Nigeria, we become chargers, we become phone chargers. You charge the president will charge, the Senate president will charge, the House of Reps speaker will charge. Everybody's charging. We are now phone chargers, or they will condemn. They will condemn. I condemn, strongly condemn. Everybody condemns, everybody charges. And basically, the same thing goes on and on and on again, because they know that everybody will still get back to their positions. Nobody suffers the brunt for anything. Nobody resigns. Nobody is fired. Everybody is just charged. And after the charging, everybody battery runs down again and is party as it was. So the statement of the Senate president is
Hello, Samson, are you there?
The usual statement that normally make.
Hello, Samson, are you there?
Yes,
okay, yes. So quickly, yes, Samson, if you can, in less than a minute, because we'll fast run out of time, I'll really appreciate if you can, because we can't have this discussion without preferring solutions. In your own wisdom, what do you think Nigerian military and security planners, in their basic wisdom, need to do to start to turn the tide against these insurgents and insecurity in the country?
We need to build an intelligence network. We cannot have this fight against terrorism without building an intelligence network. This is, I don't even know how to say it. It is as if we're fighting blind. The terrorists and bandits are one step ahead of the military at every turn. And it is a shame that Nigeria used to boast of being one of the best military apparatus in the whole of Africa. We have been held by the neck to ransom at every turn. And we need to break the eyes and ears that the bandits have inside the military. There must be a total cleanup of the military apparatus, a change of codes, a change of so many things, so that we start from a fresh note. And that is what I think. Okay,
thank you very much, Samson. Adegboyega Newton, legal practitioner. I do appreciate your insight and your knowledge on the subject. Thanks for being a part of the conversation.
Thank you very much.
You're watching The Conversation on News Central Television. We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, in Kenya, UDA's deputy presidential candidate Rigathi Gachagua has lost 202 million shillings to the state after the High Court ruled that the money held in 4 accounts is proceeds of corruption. He has responded and said he will be appealing this judgment. What are the implications for this for Kenya's upcoming elections? We'll be discussing this and more when we return from the break. You stay with us.